Good morning, I'm YourPlayerTwo. Today is Wednesday, September 18th, and tonight is the multiplayer stream. And when I started thinking about the multiplayer stream, one of the things that occurred to me was that when it comes to the content that I'm doing for these morning live streams, one of the things that I found was that generally what I'm doing is I'm just kind of thinking about the problems that I've worked through myself with a channel, and just some of the things I'm kind of learning along the way, and then I just kind of reshare that information, right? I never profess to be some like demigod of YouTube efficiency or something like that, but rather I just think it's a very simple process of figuring out the things that are working or new things that I learn, and then sharing them here. But one of the things that's really driving that, more than anything, is just I kind of think that I know what makes sense to talk about, and then kind of hope that I'm right, and, sometimes people are more receptive to it, sometimes people are less receptive to it. So I thought today I would just sort of flip it around a little bit, right? If you have a particular problem with your channel, or if you have questions, or if you have things that you've found, or things that you've learned, or if you just want to hang out and talk about gaming channels as a concept and some of the observations that you had, I thought that would be a really good thing to kind of talk about this morning, is just to kind of get some of your feedback and figure out, if it's not something that I'm driving and you're driving the content this morning, I kind of want to see what that would be like. And if it works well, that's probably what I'm going to do on Wednesdays moving forward, is not use Wednesday mornings necessarily for tips or strategy or something that's, very purely rooted in just like, YouTube productivity or growth or something like that, but rather just make this time during the week where like that's the time when we all get together and kind of share the things that we've all learned, not just the things that I've learned, but, just sort of engage in a discussion about the various things that we've learned in our own YouTube journeys, which I think would be tremendous. And if nobody wants to talk about that, I'll probably just talk a little bit about the struggles I'm having on this channel, and then we can just have morning discussion like we normally do, again, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. And if you are somebody new here, that's kind of where we're at right now. I'm doing this as an experiment where I'm going live on the channel exclusively, and for the next 90 days, or at this point it would be about 45 days, because we're going to go through Halloween. I'm going to be doing a live stream every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, and then at the end, when Halloween hits, I'm probably going to take a week off and evaluate like what worked, what didn't, the things that I actually enjoyed doing or the things I liked about that process, and then kind of make a decision as to if it's going to continue, what it's going to look like, figure out branding for it and stuff. I talked about that a little bit on Twitter yesterday. Dad, good morning. How are you today? And that's kind of where I'm at with it this morning. Now, when it comes to my channel, if I want to talk about some of the things that I'm struggling with, the biggest thing right now is, I feel like I've got the branding down, and I feel like I know the kind of content that I want to make, but I'm still kind of split in a way. I look forward to your findings lab report on the experiment. Me too. I'm very curious to see how everything shakes out. It's weird though. Things are getting a little skewed right now. I was actually seeing an increase in subscribers and views and everything, but that's because the Beat Saber video that I did a while back started picking up more traction, and then, now that it's got more traction, I'm getting more subscribers. And that's actually probably a good segue to one of my struggles, is that video game content creator versus gamer divide, right? I make content that sort of appeals to both camps, and the biggest struggle that I've had over the past probably 6 months to a year is that, again, in the beginning with YourPlayerTwo, what I wanted to do was focus in on gaming. I knew that, but that's really, really broad. So I wanted to niche down further, and I started really doing some self-evaluation, figuring out the things that I really liked about myself or the things that I enjoyed doing, and that's always sort of been helping people, right? I think that empathy is one of the skills that I have and one of the things that I like about myself, and I feel like the best way that I could use that in the gaming community is just to take things that I've learned about video production, or things I've learned about editing or marketing or social media or just the platform itself, and then to reshare it, because I feel like sometimes that information doesn't get put out in a very approachable way, or some people will be like, hey, I've got all the answer for you, but it's locked behind a $600 course. And I'm not saying that none of those courses have value. Some of them probably do. I would be very curious about Think Media's actually, but at the same time, if you're somebody who's just starting out, and especially if you don't got $600 laying around, like, there's got to be some approachable information that you can get to without having to make a heavy investment. Jay, what's up, man? How you doing this morning? Appreciate you coming to hang out. Oak City, how are you? Erno, good to see you again. Kawhi, how did the bread work out? I caught your Instagram story this morning. It looked like it was very tasty. You've started to stream a lot lately? Yes. Well, actually, I've been streaming a lot really since August 4th, I think, is when this whole thing started. So yeah, for a little bit, man, for sure. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. And back to what I was saying, like, one of my biggest struggles on the channel is that gamer versus video game content creator divide, right? Am I shooting myself in the foot by doing things like the PlayStation Classic video, like the Beat Saber video more recently that's kind of gaining some traction? Because of those people that come in, are a lot of them only there for gaming, or are some of them actually going to show up, then see the other content that I have on the channel about things like, hey, here's how to connect with people on your gaming channel, or hey, here's how to do better collaborations, and actually have an interest in that? and I'm not sure. So in a way, I think maybe the biggest problem that I'm facing is not production, it's not my ability to be consistent, so much as it is marketing. I'm not positive I'm marketing the channel in the correct way, but then there's a part of me that's like, maybe you're just overthinking it. Make content that you love, but make sure you also have an equal mix of content that's going to be helpful to other people, and, just sort of trust that things are going to work. But usually when it comes to things that are, business related, or when you're on a mission for growth like I am, saying like, oh, let's just trust that everything's going to be okay. That seems like a horrible idea to me compared to working within data, and that's probably attributable to the fact that I am like an IT guy by day, so everything that I do is very data driven. So whenever someone tells me more soft skill type stuff when it comes to connecting with people, I can struggle with that from a business perspective. On a personal level, I get it, and I love connecting with people, and I see the value in it. I think there's a lot of intangible value that people just sort of write off because they can't see it represented as a number. That kind of keys off what I was saying yesterday, where the numbers are super dangerous in a way, depending on how you perceive those things. Good, Fred. I'm glad to hear it back. Jay says, yeah, I'd be curious for someone to evaluate my channel. I feel like I could just work around life. I could really make some headway. I can bring your channel up right now if you're okay with it, Jay. I actually do have it set up so I can look at stuff. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can shift everything around a little bit so I can show you the screen right. I'll have to bring it up. NES Addict. Hold on a second. I think I can do this. Is there a particular video you want us to show, or do you just want me to take a look at the channel, Jay, just out of curiosity? Caitlin, how are you this morning? Thanks for showing up. We're just doing community discussion today, again, so if you want to talk about your channel, or if you want me to bring it up and look at it, I'm happy to do it. Give me a second here. Is this going to do it? Did I mess it up? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because that's, again, a small technical improvement I wanted to make on the channel is to make sure that I could bring up the desktop if I needed to. Vance, what's up, man? How you doing today? I hope someone talks about a channel I haven't seen before. I love watching gaming channels. Well, if you haven't seen NES Addict before, we're about to. So this is Jay's channel. The one with NES Complex is pretty fun. I have not watched much NES Complex. That would be a good one to bring up, too. Starting gaming channels will grow way more quicker than other types of channel. Maybe. It's also a really crowded space. So right now, if you're not familiar, Jay, NES Addict here on the chat, is a tremendous dude. And right now, one of his primary focuses is on NES oddities that are collectibles from a bygone era. So right now, if you go to Jay's channel and then just look at his videos, this is kind of what you're going to see. Just a lot of live streams. And do you want to play one of the Nintendo's Oddities episodes, Jay? We can just let that roll? If there's a certain one that you think will be best, I'll go ahead and... Oh, you said the NES Complex. I'm sorry, I thought you meant his channel, period. Tell me again which one that was, man. I'm sorry. If I'm just totally missing it, I do apologize. Jacob, what's up, man? Thanks for interrupting me rudely, Uncle Strange. Uncle Strange, how are you this morning, man? I'm glad you're here. The most recent, which I haven't seen, so that's actually a win.
Kira and Zach are collaborating and using Grammarly along the way.
I need to put it
in the past.
It's weird, like I don't want to put an ad blocker thing on here necessarily.
In 1985, when America was gifted the little gray box known as the NES, Nintendo became a household name. Kids no longer played video games, they played Nintendo. And to further push their brand, they began marketing a variety of
I see so many things
products.
I've seen at this shop, Jay, that I think you're going to like.
From this day forward, these licensed products will be referred to as Nintendo Oddities.
I'd be curious to know how you did that effect.
Summer's over, and that means it's time for kids to go back to school.
But in the 80s, when kids went back to school, they weren't looking for Minecraft and Fortnite nonsense, no.
Nonsense.
Nintendo gear.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, we still do. It's kind of pathetic. Like, I'm 41, and I just bought this crap. What is wrong with me? What's wrong with all of us? What's weird is some of these things that he got,
it's like that retro gaming discussion, it's validity.
He bought two of the same exact things
T
that
Belly,
I
what's
bought.
up, man?
I think we got to start with the bag.
This is a pretty slick bag.
This bag is a real oddity.
It says Nintendo Gear.
It's like,
they called it Gear.
almost like the
Game
title,
Gear.
An LA gear.
An LA Gear. And in Hard Day's Night, the Beatles said, hey, that's totally gear.
And you weren't cool unless you were rocking the Nintendo gear.
Right.
I never remember seeing this growing up.
That is very cool, though. I've never seen that particular bag before.
And what's weird is it has these little feet on it.
What's weird is, like, after I leave, he's
Apparently
not going to see that
underpants, yes,
anymore.
Oak.
Also.
What?
Just don't. So that is, like, what you're going to put all of this stuff in.
That's correct. Up first, we have
Absolutely,
a crucial
T-Belly.
piece
For school.
for school, and that is the Nintendo Power Notebook.
Yeah, you got to, it's paper.
It's paper.
There are some really creepy things that was written in there, though. No, just kidding. There's nothing written in there.
This was made by.
I wish I'd spent more time talking about Creepy Todd.
Sorry, that's kind of a dumb name.
Yeah, that is
Although he had an
Imaginings
awesome power with
3, but it's
BP Retro power at
1998,
Southeast
88.
Game Exchange.
That's what I said.
Yep. Yeah.
I slept for about 30 minutes
In the
on the
last
plane in the last
day.
day.
What do you like about this cover, Chris?
Well, I like that it says Nintendo Power. It like tricks you, like, oh, it's a
I like the
Nintendo
pixelation
Power
behind it.
magazine, but it's not a Nintendo Power magazine. No, it's paper.
It's paper.
So that part's fun.
We should just recycle this. It's free.
I really like the way. See, Mario is often drawn like that, but Link, very quickly, I feel like that kind of cartoon style.
Link looks
for
like he's
has
got like
faded.
Mario-ish
still can be
proportions
drawn
here.
that
It's really
way.
weird.
Link has become more realistic, but if Link looked like that in a game, that would be pretty fun, I think. And then after you take the paper out and you rip
I
it
guess
out,
it'll be
there's
closer
all
with
those
Link's
little
Awakening here in a
stupid things
couple
on the
days.
side that your teacher always got mad at you about having and told you to cut it off. You got to put your paper in something.
That's
And
correct.
there are 2 of these.
So after you pull out your paper and you're ready for your homework, you need Nintendo folders.
So folders, the purpose of a folder is so your paper
I wish I
doesn't
still
get
had some of the
bent
early
up.
90s
That's
Trapper
right.
Keepers,
and
Jay.
store your homework. So your
And
dog doesn't need it.
Kids never use them, and these look like they've never been
The man
used.
appears.
They're perfect.
This is vintage 1988 stock. New stock.
But look
New
at that.
stock.
Look at. I love the NES Advantage thing.
I like that you
going
do the
on down
cutaways to give a
look at
closer in look
Bowser
at the
on this one.
detail on these items.
here.
Why is
Bowser's
his
got.
face purple?
He's got.
I think that's something
he's
people
been
do a lot
drinking
with
grape
pickups and everything.
juice.
So they'll just
This
hold the item up
deserves to be
briefly, and I
framed
actually did
and
that with
mounted on a
some of the
wall.
live streams I
Like,
do
the
for
artwork
pickups.
is so good and so unique.
But
Like,
especially
I
when you've got
don't- I
artwork
don't
like
see
this,
many
kind of
other
being able to
things
zoom in
that
on that
have
detail, I
this.
think is a
Obviously,
really
the
nice
school
touch.
supplies, but I don't see many other things with this particular artwork.
Nope. This is unique. See these?
That makes it not unique. So
Those
you
are the
said it's
same.
unique, and then you show that.
What?
Just don't. It's unique in a way.
It's unique.
I
to
like
only
cutaways
school
with
products.
with
this last
quick
thing is the
gags like
coolest
that,
thing.
where it seems
What
like
do you
production
need
halts for a
to do
second.
your homework
I
with?
love
What's
it.
the most important piece?
A brain.
You need a brain. But instead of
That's
that, we
not-
have this sweet Nintendo
Yeah, there are a lot of
pencil.
small items
Someone
just
turned
like
down to nothing.
that in particular. I feel that
So
are
they
video
come
game
like
exchanges
it
I
was a
need to
regular
check out
size
for you,
pencil,
Jay.
right?
It was.
Like a golf pencil.
It was full size.
Now that's not very common. I would imagine, like, we were talking about this earlier. Video games can be rare, but there's still quite a bit. I don't know how many of these there actually would still be that aren't like rotting in a landfill somewhere. People don't generally throw video games away, but pencils, when you've used them, you throw them away. These things, if I were to sum it up, I would say these are odd.
What were those? Were they just called
These.
pencil
I'm
toppers?
glad that these are Nintendo oddities because we got to talk about them today,
Me too.
and they're pretty awesome.
And now I want to get that.
Okay, what are you gonna do?
Spend all your money
I think that's
in
what
a
we should
pile
do.
of gray plastic.
Well, guys, that's
Alright.
been another episode of Nintendo Oddities. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Enjoyed it.
That wasn't even done in post production.
As
That was just
always,
a built-in analog echo.
Great.
What do you say, as always?
I say, as always, thanks for watching and take
Also,
care.
I like what
This
you're doing.
is gonna
Like
be
for anybody
uncut.
who's watching, I like that he's just scaling the frame
edit.
up for detail because I think it adds a really dynamic quality to videos, and I think that a lot of the time people don't necessarily think to do that. And I think it's actually a really good way to, especially if you're doing like a single camera setup, like even like right now, just like watching the framing like view. Yeah, I'll go back full screen again. That working? Yeah. Like even right now, I mean, like this could be boring if this is the only shot you ever see, and that's again one of the struggles that I have with the live format is I don't have the flexibility to really do a lot of, like it wouldn't even be post production because it's happening in the live format. But I haven't done a lot to punch up the stream yet, and mainly that's because I didn't want to recreate some of the problems that I guess some of the just production difficulties that come with pre-production. So. It's one of those things that I would like to work on, but I don't want to get like stuck on a hamster wheel of constantly trying to improve it when I think live is best when it's just delivering content value. But yeah, dude, that was totally awesome. Now, if we want to look at your channel again real quick, hold on, let me see if I can go back to it. So when you said that you were having trouble with it, I'm just curious because I've got it up on screen now. Hold on, let me bring it back up. What are some of the things that you were having trouble with, or some of the things that you wanted feedback on, I guess, just out of curiosity, Jay? Jugs, what's up, man? How you doing this morning? Sorry, I'm trying, like, the chat's over on this side now, because I don't want to, like, chew up this screen where I'm showcasing things, so it's a little bit confusing. Thanks, Josh, for showing that off. Dude, it's no problem at all, man. I know you make good stuff, but, oh, Tony's here. What's up, dude? When you said, hey, Tony, I was like, wait, which Tony? But I didn't scroll back far enough. And 8-Bit Glitch, how you doing this morning? I found a game in the trash. What game did you find in the trash, Oak? But yeah, I was just curious, Jay. If there's something that you want to feedback on or anything like that, I'm happy to do it. But I'm not really sure what you're after. I will say, I think I like the Nintendo Oddities larger here with the branding, just because I feel like it would have been easier for me to catch out, or to spot among your other videos. Because when I was first glancing at it, when you said the one with NES Complex, a lot of this one in particular, even though it shows a lot of what you had in there, just seemed kind of busy to me, and I was totally glancing right past where it said NES Complex, and you had to point it out to me. But I mean, that's something that I struggle with too. Like, my thumbnails are very basic, right? I usually just put basically a red and purple backdrop with some white text, and put something that's somewhat relevant to the topic at hand, or something that's an in-joke. But I'm not great at thumbnails. It's something I need to get better at. Now, I can get better at it. Jason is going to come back and work on the channel. He said that he would come back and work with me, because when he lived here, we worked on channel stuff constantly, and it was super fun. But ultimately, what ended up happening is, after he got married, moved out and everything, he has way less time. He's like, I'll come back and work on the channel one day a week, once you hit 10K. And he did that to challenge me, which I thought was irritating, especially because he knows that I'm not all about, yes, I want the channel to grow, but I'm not, on a quest for numbers where I'm like, oh, I gotta get that 10,000 and stuff. But that's the bargain he made with me, because he's a really irritating best friend, but also one of the best. It was good production value. It was good. It was good. 4 people here that I've hung out with. I wish I could hang out with you at Southeast Game Exchange, man, but hopefully we'll get to hang out at, Too Many Games or Siege next year or something. Live channel evaluation with a ton of fellow content creators, a rare treat. Yeah, and I don't normally do this. Actually, I don't even think I've ever done this, where I pull up people's channels, and the reason I don't is because I feel like some people can take it out of context or think that I just want to rip on a channel or something like that, and I didn't really want to make it be like, oh, I'm doing channel reviews, because I feel like some people are like, oh, that just means he's going to throw my channel up, and that might be an opportunity to just get more subscribers or something. I just wanted to have a legitimate discussion about feedback. I didn't really want to turn into a giant channel review type thing. Not that those aren't helpful. I just don't think that I'm that well equipped to do it. I can give my feedback as somebody who's also a YouTube content creator, or somebody who's just a gamer looking for great content. But beyond that, I don't know that I have established enough authority that I can be like, oh yes, I will give you a rating of 1 to 10 about your channel, and then make you feel horrible or fantastic about yourself. I don't know how much value there is in that. Let me see if I can catch up with the chat here. What people don't see is the first video on YouTube already told that people would be nervous, but hunks and barely. And I don't know why I said this. Wait. You mean the video on your channel? You told people you'd be nervous? I think most people are nervous on their first video. I know that I certainly am. So, does anybody else have any issues with their channel or something you want me to check out? Jay, if you want me to give you some more feedback, I'm happy to do it, or if you already... See, I was told by some people that the font was... Oh, okay, sorry, I missed your chat, man. I thought that thumbnail was good, too. No, it's not a bad thumbnail. I think it's not so much that it's bad or anything like that. It's just that one of the things you have to think about with thumbnails that I constantly forget, and you can see that especially in some of my earlier thumbnails, is depending on how much you have on it, because a lot of people are watching... Well, if you're watching on mobile, they have their face a little bit closer to the screen, but, it's almost the same thing with branding and logo design, is if you have a design that's too busy and you have to scale it to a lot of different sizes, as people frequently have to do with logos for things like business cards, stickers, billboards, or something even bigger than that, is to make sure that whatever size that imagery is going to be represented at, that it's still that you can still make it out. I mean, looking at this, it's clear to me that obviously you're into retro stuff and NES and everything, but this when it says Nintendo Oddities and the series is way bigger like that, it would have been easier for me to spot. But I mean, really, that's a minor gripe. If somebody's already subscribed to you, they're probably going to immediately understand that that's going to be an NES Oddities video based just on the items that you have on display in the thumbnail. But for newcomers, I can see how it might be confusing. I found Mario Party 7 in the trash at the media pit at the local dump. It's a misdemeanor to take things from that place. That's weird. Hey Vance. Ooh, rip on our channel, Josh. I'm not gonna rip on your channel, but I will bring it up. Oak City Gamers. But I mean, what kind of feedback do you actually want, Matt? I feel like you've themed things a little bit better here. I just like the title here for Blocky Boys. I think that's fantastic. Hold on. Yeah, what are you after? Because I don't want to just sit here and rip on your channel. That's not what I'm going to do. But if you want my feedback on something, I'm happy to answer it. I'm referring to the layout I used with the large Nintendo oddities was good, and I was told to change it. I mean, there might be ways you could punch it up a little bit, but again, I don't think you... for me, it's at least very clear what series it's a part of as an existing subscriber. But as a newcomer, I mean, I can see how that may also have merit, right? If they've never heard of Nintendo oddities before and they don't know what it is, and that's the only thing on the thumbnail, I can see how that would be off-putting. So I guess... I don't know, I guess if it were me trying to do it, I would probably just try to find some way to strike a balance, I guess. One of the ways that I actually do that on this channel is, and you can actually see it on screen right now, is there's a very distinct, just sort of, well, I'm using the overlay as an example, but I do it for the live thumbnails too. Whenever I do, live streams for video games, it's got that same sort of rounded corner look on two of the corners, and then it's got that red live button in the upper right, so anybody who sees it over time understands, like, oh, this was a live stream of a game. So one thing is just, like, tiny, subtle visual cues can let people know that something is part of a series, and especially if they're looking at it at a glance, like in the grid, like we're seeing on Oak's channel right now. Like, I immediately know just after seeing one of them that anytime I see that blue sky, and, like Minecraft people looking off in the distance, well, which at first glance might just appear as people, I guess. That's probably going to be a Minecraft stream. Honestly, I need nothing. If you see something wrong, tell me. I mean, I don't know that I see anything wrong. I mean, again, like, what's your about section say? A love for video games and a passion for finding the very best and sometimes the worst gaming led us to hunting, searching, and thrifting. The city of Oaks is where we'll call home, Raleigh, North Carolina. So I think that's a good description of, like, what you have on offer and the kind of stuff that you do on the channel, Oak. I'm curious, and honestly, this is hypocritical of me because I don't know if my about section is updated, but, like, I know that you guys have social media presences. I'm not sure who manages. I don't know if it's a combination of all of you, or if it's just you, or if it's just Joel, for example. But it might make sense to link to some of that here, because if somebody cares enough to dig more into you and kind of figure out what you're all about, and they want to connect with you off the channel, it might be worth exploring. But I've also heard arguments against that. Like, one of the things you can do is put links up here on your channel, which I think I can bring up mine here, maybe. Hold on. No, I'm going to stop my channel trailer if it starts playing. It's the most annoying thing in the world. I can't stand it. Is it going to play? No, I guess not. Probably because I'm logged in. But, like, up here, the only thing I have a link to is Twitter, and that's because I know I'm really active there. Before, I had links to other things like Patreon and Facebook and Instagram, and then I had a discussion with Avedon, and he was like, maybe just trim it down to something you're going to be absolutely active on. And actually doing this is great, because I'm starting to see some of the deficiencies in my own channel presentation right now. Like, right now, under featured channels, I should have more people here. Right now, I only have Muzz, who's amazing. You should check him out if you enjoy watching a YouTuber who has, a video game store. But let's look at my about section. Before I go saying you should add some things, though, let's see if I'm messing something up. I've got my P.O. box on here. I've got my Twitter on here. This needs updated. This fresh content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and in between. Like, technically that's true, but at the time I was doing pre-produced videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, then live streams. Under 2018 release schedule? Hypocrisy. Just terrible. Thank you for that, Oak. Sushi, what's up? We can do that. I'm having issues in studio getting my videos to show folks where I want them to. What do you mean by that, Oak? Just out of curiosity. Let me go back. Any second we should talk obscure Mario Bros. Stuff sometime since I've done a lot of research on it. That would be a cool pairing. Let me scroll back up in the chat for a minute. Ernest says, so the video called me at the zoo, that one. Hold on. Oh, you mean the first video on the whole YouTube? Oh, that I can't speak to. I feel like my lighting is really bad when you're in your game room. I can bring up your channel in a second if you want me to, Glitch. I feel like my channel only targets a niche audience. What's your channel all about, Jugs? Just out of curiosity. And that's the thing. Like, do you think that's a bad thing, targeting a niche audience? Because in a lot of cases, that's a really good thing. Again, it's like that whole, when you try to talk to everybody, you end up talking to nobody. And I see you've got some amazing channels over here on your featured side, Oak. These are great. MC Mur, Discard. Arcade Games, I feel like I've seen the name, but I don't know that I've checked out the channel before. Or if I do, I'm not remembering it right now. Solid Nate, solid. Brian Trusty's amazing. Uncle Strange is terrifying, but he's also amazing. No, he's not terrifying. So yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, I feel like if you got good visual, differentiation, like when you scroll through the feed, like, for people to figure out what they're looking for. I'm surprised, like, the thrifting game, I almost feel like that should have some sort of visual clue that that's part of the series. Because, I mean, I can kind of tell when it just shows, like, two of you at least, like, that can tell me, but, like, right here, initially, I don't think I would have noticed that just because it's kind of hard to read the black text there, but that's really just being nitpicky. I've been collecting the comics as well as the Super Mario manga, which is in Japanese, but I'm studying Japanese, so I can eventually read them. Oh, you're talking to Jay. T-Millie says, hello. My channel reviews overlooked games. Are you saying I should stick to my main videos and see how far that goes? Vance says, per tip, you can rename the phrase featured channel on your channel to whatever you like. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you, Vance. That's good to know. I review obscure games on my channel. Why don't... And that's the thing, like, even obscure games, like, they have their audience, right? And if somebody prides themselves on a taste for the obscure or having, tastes that are a little less pedestrian than the rest of us who are just looking forward to the next Call of Duty game, there's an audience for that. So I wouldn't necessarily say that you have to change your whole strategy. It might be more of a challenge to market, right? I mean, normally, it's easier to catch a wave on a new release, for example. I also struggle with what I should do for thumbnails. Yeah, let me bring up your channel, 8-Bit. See if I can bring you over here. Retro and modern. How am I not already subscribed to you? I'm surprised by that, as much as you hang out. Hold on. Let's see. I'm going back to... I struggle with what I should do for thumbnail. And again, I think that's probably one of the biggest struggles people have. One of the things that I want to do on the channel that I haven't done yet is start bringing on, other creators for interviews. And one of the people I'd like to target is to see if I can find someone who's just really just bombastically good at thumbnails and see if I can get them to reveal some of their secrets to us. I think that would be really helpful for everybody and for me as well, since I struggle with it. As far as thumbnails go, at least what speaks to me is like... This is a live stream, but or it looks like an archive live stream, I guess. So this obviously it's not live right now, but these icons on here and this text, like, there's no way I can read that. I think just showing the game is probably enough, and then if you've got maybe the title of it, because that's one of the things that that I struggle with, and one of the things I tried to do with my titles. Actually, I think I'm noticing that more than the thumbnail now. 8-Bit is when it comes to putting your title out, especially if like you're a smaller channel, if you're just starting out, how you title your videos will have a big impact on your discoverability and search. Like right now, nobody's going to be searching for 8-Bit Glitch 79, and you've got that right at the beginning. I'm not saying you don't have your branding in the title at all. A lot of people do that, but I would move it to the end right now. Like, I think when you get bigger, you have a little bit more flexibility. But like right now, like, I wouldn't start off, if I was doing a video review or something like that, I would start it titled like YourPlayerTwo reviews, whatever, because not a lot of people are searching for YourPlayerTwo, or if they are, they're searching for it probably in some completely different capacity where they're just like, look for it like it's like a meme or some like romantic connotation or something like that. Probably for wedding research, for like a nerdy wedding or something. Live ringing of the bell confirmed. Well, yeah, I'm curious. I'm surprised, and that's one of the things is like. One of the things that sucks about being on YouTube and getting involved in a community, which it sounds weird to be like, this sucks, don't get involved in a community. Not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, it's so hard to keep up with everybody and remember who you've subscribed to and who you haven't, that it becomes a little bit overwhelming. So, if I am not subscribed to you, not a commentary on you as a person, or whether or not I think what you're doing is valuable, I'm just scatterbrained and caffeinated all the time. New sub hype. Bye, Erno, take care. I know I'm obsessed with obscure media, whether it's video games or animated shows. Shaboinky Boink says, not only did he sub, he hit that notification bell. Well, yeah. I mean, I want to be aware when things happen. I can't watch every video, obviously. I wonder if I could get Aaron Stompish on for you, Josh. I would be curious about that as well. I'm sure he would have some tremendous insights. Fabian, what's up, man? How you doing this morning? Trust me, I know almost 300 vids on my watch. Right? T-Belly, it's tremendously difficult to keep up with everybody, and I'm really, I think that's one of the things that I like most about the community, is that even when I start to question myself, or I feel bad about not keeping up with other people, no one has ever like called me out or made me feel horrible about it. And I think it's just because, like, whenever the community you hang out with are also other creators, I think they just get it, right? Like, nobody in this channel is watching every single video that I put out either, and I'm not sitting there like, why doesn't T-Belly love me more? This is ridiculous. We had pizza together. Like, and that's the thing. I think that's really just a testament to maybe the gaming community at large, particularly in the retro community. Just a lot of good, warm, loving, and understanding people there, and I think that's one of the things that keeps me coming back. Hold on, I'm trying to find 8-bit glitch again. What? Thanks for the advice, Josh. Yeah, no problem. And again, like, this is not, you know, a commentary where I'm just like, your channel's garbage. Let me tell you why it's garbage. I don't think that at all. I think you've got a lot of interesting stuff on here. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up. Let's look at your video games monthly September unboxing, because unboxings are always fun.
Here, and it's the beginning
Let's
of the
watch
month,
together.
so
I want to see
that
what you got,
means-
because I would like to. I've been on the fence about video games monthly myself, and I would like to check it out sometime. I like the branded intro. I need to do better about that
I
myself.
actually got this a couple days ago, and
I like the
tried
outdoor
filming
setting
it,
a lot, too.
And yeah,
I feel like so often when you do unboxing and stuff, you're just in like a
didn't work
standard
out.
like
Something
bedroom
happened with
/
the
office
audio,
situation, but I like you're getting some.
fixed. It was all
some
off
sun.
sync. So, take two. I already know what's in here, unfortunately, so it's not a surprise to me, but it's a surprise to you.
You already
So-
knew? You didn't give us
so
the
we're
live
gonna pretend I
reaction?
don't.
For shame, 8-bit.
So
No, I'm
Video
kidding.
Games Monthly is
Wait,
a
why wouldn't you
monthly
watch AVGN
subscription
anymore?
service that allows you to pick retro video games to be delivered to your door. You can pick anything from television and Atari 2600 right up to the
I like that
Wii
you're
U,
describing the product and service up
including
front for people who are
PS3
unfamiliar.
and, Xbox 360 as well. So you sign up for an account, you pick and choose the systems you want to collect for. I collect for NES, Super NES, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, and N64 and PSP. On your account, you choose what games you already own, so you don't get duplicates, and that's pretty much it. You pick 3 games a month, 4, 5.
I would
all the
probably
way
go
up to
for
the
the 3 or 4 games a month myself.
option as well. So, and sometimes they throw in a 1-up or 2-up, 3-up, get some free games. So we're gonna open the box here and see what Floyd has for us this month. Alright, we got the paperwork, and right off the bat, we got a 1-up. Oh yeah, you know it. BGM is looking out for me.
What is the 1-up
We
again?
got the card that says to share your picks, or not your picks, but your games for the month on their Facebook.
That's smart on their part.
Game.
And just having a call to action within
And
the
then
product
thank
box
you for
itself.
Subscribing card, and don't forget to update your library.
That's a lot of bonus goodies in there.
Oh, this is the.
I got one of these at
kit.
Southeast
They
Game
throw in
Exchange.
A little something extra in there. And this is a door handle that says, "Don't bother. Do not disturb. I'm playing with my joystick."
Well played,
Like
VGM.
these. So.
Extra game, 2-up,
let's
extra
get
game.
into
Okay,
what
that's
we
what I
got
thought, but I
for
didn't want to
this
make the
month.
assumption.
We got the bubble wrap. Here you go, J-Love. There you go.
I may have my Luigi Plus react to my stuff
We
along
got
with the
an
nice
NES
Caitlin.
game, and it is the Uncanny X-Men.
Ugh, I remember playing that game,
Sweet.
and I remember it being super difficult. That's LJN, right? Yeah.
LJN there, Captain
Yep.
Algebra. I heard this isn't really that great of a game, but hey, NES game is always a good game in my opinion. We got a Genesis.
NES collection's decent.
Loose,
I got a lot of the
Ultimate
staples.
Mortal Kombat 3.
I spent a lot of time with that,
Awesome.
although on the Super, not the
I heard
Genesis.
This is one of the ones that is harder to find, not completely like.
Is that a hard game to
rare or
find?
impossible to find, but it's one of the hardest.
Yeah,
ones.
Fabian. Like I remember just
That's
being
awesome.
brutalized by it. Paul, what's up, man? How you
Beats
doing?
My Mortal Kombat on the Genesis series. We got a boxed game. What could this be? Oh yes, Sega Master System Wonder Boy. Now this is basically Adventure Island before it became Adventure Island, and then Wonder Boy went off on its own different kind of.
Wait, do I have Wonder Boy?
It's not complete.
Not for the
no
Genesis, though.
instructions. But that's awesome. I can always find the instructions somewhere. But that is really cool. I think
For the
this is-
longest time, I thought that the Sega Genesis was
I
the
don't know how
competitor
this
to
box
the
can be
NES
better.
when I was young.
And then.
Because I didn't know anybody that had a Master System, but I knew a lot of people that had a Genesis.
It's a sealed PSP.
Well, I still had an
Nice.
NES.
Daxter.
That's a good game.
Now,
I like
we're
that game a
doing
lot,
the
actually.
Jak and Daxter
I have the
games.
greatest hits version, which I don't
I'm
love
assuming
because I
this
hate
is
greatest
the
hits versions of
spin-off
games
of
unless they have some
Daxter.
demonstrable value,
And
but that's cool.
It looks kind of cool. Definitely gonna have to check this one out. Maybe it'll get me into the Jak and Daxter series. So that's this month's box. Please
Not
comment
bad,
below
man.
what you think your monthly pick.
I like that you've got a call to
Out of
action asking
this,
people
I
about
think
what their
for
pick
me,
was.
It's the Wonder Boy.
For me,
That's
it probably would
cool.
have been Jak.
I don't think I've ever seen
Or-
that in the wild. Like even at a convention, I've never seen that. So that's pretty cool. So that's this month.
I don't. Maybe
Thank
the
you for
Mortal
checking it
Kombat
out.
3.
If this is new to you, please like, comment, and subscribe down below.
Another call to
Have some fun.
action. I
Check
dig
out
it.
my other videos. I also have some merchandise. The link would be down below.
Now
if
I'm
you
just
wanna get a
curious,
t-shirt
8-bit.
or
Are
hoodie.
you pretty active on all of these platforms right now? Because you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you're on Twitter. Because I will tell you, like I don't normally push my Instagram and Facebook that much, just 'cause I'm not very active there. And honestly, I'm toying with the idea of just getting rid of them entirely. But I'm not 100% on that. I'm just curious though. Because one of the things that I see that's weird is people do a call to action of platforms that they don't even really spend much time on, or they're not very active in.
Glitching out.
Nice. I like the catchphrase. Good stuff, man. I will have to check out more of your videos.
How's it going, everyone? This is Nintendo. And you're watching 8
Sorry, I was like, well, I'm not gonna do it right now, but then Nintendo pops up. I do like that intro. That's great. All right, so. Oh wait, hold on a second. We'll get back to this. We can get back to your channel for a second, if I'm not messing it up. Am I messing this up? Sorry, I'm struggling with doing multiple monitors and multiple desktops right now. I'll get good though, I promise. Alright, I'm going to leave for work. If you ever do look at my channel, one gripe I have is that it doesn't stick out. Yeah, I'll see if I can check it out. Like next time you're in, we'll see if we can take a look at it, man. I'll go ahead and pull it up and leave it in a tab or something. I also realized another thing that's striking me now is if I'm trying to keep the channel family friendly, but I look at a channel, and I'm not saying yours isn't, but it's something that just occurred to me, Jugs. That might be a sticking point for me. So retro and modern gaming, you got a call to action in the header there, which I think is good. I'm curious though, like why you're not using the header space here though, if you're big on Twitter. Let me see what you had to say in the chat. Facebook is probably less than my Twitch and Instagram. Yeah, I would be curious about if maybe you would want to put it up here, but then again, I've also heard, that something you would want to do is keep everybody locked into this channel if this is the main place you want to focus on. I would be curious to hear Fabian's thoughts on this. I highly recommend Instagram. I've been getting so much traffic from sharing my thumbnails and posting on there. I've gotten a little bit, I think I just overthink my Instagram approach. Like, I had mentioned on Twitter yesterday, Fabian, that I was struggling with Instagram. It's mainly because, I think I'm just, afraid to share the wrong thing, which goes against my own advice of, quantity over quality, but that's just something that I have to, figure out and overcome myself. Shmoky Boy says the new subscribe and like notification fad is to have the sub button pop up and get clicked. That's been around, for a while. I feel like I've seen that for a long time on YouTube. Sushi says I usually have 0 calls to action. Well, it depends on what you want to do, right? Like, what are you trying to get done, Sushi? If you're just having fun, you may not need a call to action necessarily. Gaming Savage. Nice, D-Belly. Y'all, my guys, to be fair, I'm 100% positive I have some of your stuff in my watch later. Yeah, and I feel like I get tied up with a lot of stuff in my own watch later. And usually I'll open a bunch of tabs. I'll go through my subscription feed and open them, and then basically minimize them all to the mini tabs, and then watch them throughout the day. It doesn't always work. Josh, think you can look at my banner? Absolutely, T-Belly. And I can tell you guys now, when it comes to T-Belly, I don't know that I would call his channel family friendly necessarily, but what I will say is he's an amazing dude, and if that's not a sticking point for you, you should absolutely subscribe to him, especially if you're into retro stuff, because it's amazing. That's so funny. This Toki for Switch, I almost picked this up yesterday when I was at GameStop. They had it for $29.99, T-Belly. Yeah, I love your banner, man. It's bold. I like the hashtag We Bout This Life, because I know you are, know that we are. I like that you've got Twitter there, and you're actually making use of the clickable links up here as well. So yeah, dude, I think this looks tremendous. I mean, my own header right now, if we looked at my channel, is completely inaccurate, really. So right now, it's got Monday, YouTube tips and tricks, multiplayer live stream. Well, that's still accurate. I'm going to do the multiplayer live stream tonight, but And then I've got gaming channel gear and production tips, but really all that stuff's sort of getting lumped together right now. So this is something that I need to update. Which, this is incredibly helpful. Having people be like, hey, can you check out this one specific thing? And I'm like, absolutely, I will critique that. And then I'll go look at mine, like, even though I'm kind of screwing it up right now, let's just not talk about it. Like, it's unsettling. Vance said, I felt like you were looking at my hair instead of my eye. Wait, that last video had an eye contact problem. I've seen some of your videos. Yeah, I did notice that, but I couldn't tell for sure, but if other people are saying it, I thought it was just me, but that might be something else as well, so to look more towards the lens. Like, even right now, like, when I'm talking to you guys, I'm looking straight into the lens, but every now and then, I'll be looking over here at the viewfinder and look at myself, and I'm not sure if that's what you're doing in that video, but I know that eye contact's a very powerful thing. There's a reason I do it so much, mainly because, you know, well, I was going to make a joke there, but it's probably inappropriate. Yeah, dude, no, like, I think this is great. Like, it's dynamic, it's wholly representative of who you are and your personality. You know, which, if you've never seen is there a video that you think we should pull up, T-Belly? It's not super long, so I'm going to have to get off here in, like, 10 minutes. Is there a certain video you want me to play back here? Because there's a certain one I would be happy to show it. Ideally, one where you don't, you know, flip out on anybody in a tremendously negative way that I can't justify my Mr. Rogers' existence. Eye contact is scary. It can be scary. Sure, Sushi. Staring deep into my soul. Not. Nothing? Alright, man. Well, I wouldn't trust a video. I could have sworn that you had done like an accessory review or something at some point, though. I can't remember what it was. Maybe I'm just confused right now. Vance's minigame reads I struggle with how to look at the camera. I think the problem is using my phone in landscape and looking at the screen off the lens. Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, the lens on that selfie lens on the iPhone and everything is not. It's not something that you can easily spot. In a lot of cases, it's sort of obscured by the bezel sometimes, I think. But I have that same issue when recording on a phone. I'm sure your main complaint will be is that there's not enough Animal Crossing. If you want to tear my channel, absolutely, Sushi. Let's just tear this channel apart. Not really. Sushi's amazing. First off, I feel like that could not be a more appropriate header image, Sushi, at all. You've got a piece of sushi that looks adorably happy. And a fairy. What's a video that you think I should play, Sushi? Are there any recent entries that you would recommend? I mean, you've got links to your Instagram and Twitter, and what's your About section say? I'm Cynthia. I make anime-related videos and a few random things now and then. Gudetama is my spirit animal. That's the egg, right? Help me out. That's the egg that Beck likes as well. I'm a full-time student. Spare my soul. I will upload at least every other week, sometimes more when I can. Ending screen. That's awesome. You gave play to the people who made your ending screen and your profile pic and banner. I think that's very nice. You've got your email address available here, which I think is helpful. Oh man, some of the people that you've linked to over here, the only one that I know of that is truly legend is Maiko. I don't think I'm familiar with any of these other channels. But then again, if you're mostly anime-centric and I don't know much about anime because, you know, not my area of expertise, that would make sense. Gudetama is the egg. Which video, Sushi? Is there a certain one we should show? You are pretty family-friendly, as I recall, so I don't think you flipped out on anybody. I want to eat sushi now. I know, sushi's, I haven't had sushi in a while. Of course, now saying I want to eat sushi feels horrifying because there's, you know, like, it looks so happy and sentient, I would feel bad eating it. I'm maybe the 1 minute video? What's the 1 minute video? What about the Catherine Full Body Premium Edition unboxing? I never watched you unbox that. Is that one safe to show? It's weird. Some of these I know I've watched. Like I know that I had watched this Jeopardy, but it's not showing up for some reason. Your voice acting vid? But where is it? Catherine one? Catherine one's safe. It's weird because I would be inclined to
Hello,
think
my
that it's
little
not
lambs.
safe.
Today we will be unboxing Catherine, but before that, I wanted to show you.
What are
guys
you shooting
some of
on?
my Anime Expo merch that's related to Catherine.
Sushi, this does not look like a cell phone
Okay,
camera. This
so
looks like
first
something
up,
else.
I bought Vincent's boxer shorts. I
Wait,
bought
what?
this at the Atlas booth that they had.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we have his.
Yo, I'm like, is this
classic.
family friendly? You're like, look at this men's underwear that I bought.
It has the official tag, if you guys can see it.
Everybody's
I really
watching you,
don't know
Sushi.
what material this is made of, but it isn't like the most high quality of boxer shorts. It has like the full body logo on it. Yeah.
I'm glad I went for the Catherine full
You
body
guys can see.
collector's edition. Although I wish the steelbook
I'm
had a
matching
slip
here.
case.
Let me see. I wonder how it would look like if I do put them on.
I don't know what that Pleasantville background music is, but I feel like it's outrageously appropriate, Sushi.
Okay. And the Atlas booth was giving away like this bag for free.
How did I not find
So,
any of this when I was
you
at
have
E3?
Vincent looking all scared and terrified.
Vincent should be
Gorgeous.
scared and terrified. He makes terrible life choices. I played enough of the game to know
there's
now.
nothing more attractive than a terrified man who's.
No,
begging for
Ship
his
Monkey Boy.
life.
That's not going to go in a title anywhere. I'm curious about your autofocus.
Got
Like, it
the
seems like you keep
three
shifting in and out of
girls.
focus. I want to know why
It's
that
just like
is.
your basic kind of huge tote bag. You can even wear this as like a backpack. Flip it to whatever side I wanted to, and
Just add a piece of red tape, helps you
Wear
focus on the
it
actual lens. That's
like
good advice, Ship Monkey
so.
Boy. Good idea. You know, I should use something like that more
Okay, and-
at cons where I get a bunch of stuff, but usually I'm just more focused on like a
I'll give
camera
you guys
bag or something that's
another
gonna
view.
hold like the switch or the
the
camera
other
itself so that
side.
I'm not overburdened all day. It looks like it holds a lot. You look
Alright,
so happy to have this.
Next up, I'll be unboxing the actual game here.
So you did get some bonus goodies then, that's
Alright,
awesome.
So it comes with the little sleeve, which I'll slide out. Whoa. Alright. Oh,
Yeah, I thought that was the actual
just
box
sad,
that opened.
like,
T-Belly says need that back. I know, right? You can just ship that over to
throwing
me.
it over here
So she
so
already put my
that's
P.O. box up there. You can just
that's gonna
send it
destroy me.
over, you know? We're friends. That's
gonna
what
haunt my
friends do.
nightmares, but oh my gosh, it's so cool. You can see little sheep and the boxes and them falling down. Oh my god. Okay. Ooh, oh my god. Oh, I love that detail. I mean, I've kind of seen other
That's something I
people's
struggle with there is
unboxings,
like,
but
so
to
seeing
see it
that
in
the sheep
real
are a little bit
life
obscured by the
is- oh my
reflection of
gosh,
the
it's
lighting
another
there, I
experience.
struggle with
First
that
up, we got
constantly. I
the
feel like every time I try to
steelbook
film
case
like a
with
box
the
or an
game.
accessory, it always gets obscured by light reflections. It drives me
Next
crazy.
up is the soundtrack with 21 songs. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, they have the.
I like that a lot of these
mini
collector's editions do
game,
soundtracks, but I wish they would,
that's
you know, if you're already
within
paying
the
for like
game.
the collector's
The
edition, would it
game
really be
within the game, so they
so
have, like, a soundtrack
hard for them
that
to
says
include
Rapunzel
more,
full
like a
body.
complete soundtrack
That's-
instead of
it's so
the
hilarious. Okay.
selections cut?
You just have to. And then next up is the art book. This cute little art book. I'm not sure if I'm gonna stream this game because I don't know. I guess.
Oh
I'm
yeah, it
family
drives me
friendly.
crazy too, Cynthia. You're not the only one who struggles with
Oh my
it.
gosh, their little outfits look cute and stylish. Okay.
I like when they include art books with
Sarah,
collector's editions, but
art
mostly
book. And then, last but not least,
the hardcover
plushie.
ones.
I'm gonna get him out of his little plastic.
One of the things I like to do,
It's so
and
soft.
I don't know if
I
you
don't
do a lot of
believe
B-roll or
how
anything like that,
fluffy
Sushi. At least I
this
don't
is.
think you do. But one of the things
Oh
I
my
like to do is,
gosh.
especially if I get like an art book and stuff, is I like to get shots of like flipping through the pages, maybe sometimes like even like a
Guys,
slow
he's
motion thing,
so
or zooming
fluffy,
in,
and then
just a
look, we're
static
twins,
shot
we're
of close-ups of a
matching.
lot of the art that gets
We're
featured there.
And yeah, that's all.
It's
it
what that's
comes with the premium
the sheep
edition.
is
Oh, I
adorable
forgot
and
to
terrifying,
mention
but the
this in
boxers help.
beginning, But Atlas was giving away these little horns for free if you bought something Catherine related, which I think the only
The horns are fun.
Catherine merchandise they had was the boxers, so there was the incentive to get to get
But do
the
you like doing
bosses.
B-roll, or
I've
is that
actually
not really
never played
consistent with what you like to do, just out of
Catherine
curiosity? Because
myself.
even though I do a lot of
remember
B-roll, doesn't
watching,
mean everybody else has
think,
to do B-roll, right?
2015
Like, you can do
PewDiePie
perfectly,
play this
you know,
game,
good-looking
the
video
original one,
with a
not
single camera
Catherine
setup
Before
without
Time. This
utilizing
one's like
B-roll. I just like it to
yeah,
keep the eyes
remake, but
entertained.
added stuff
Or to add
to
some,
it
but
and
you could also like
not,
zoom in the frame.
into
You
the
could play with
story.
that too,
So
Sushi,
it
without
makes
shooting
it
B-roll, just to
fresh
mix it
and
up a little
fun
bit. Just
and a
scale
new
up the frame,
experience.
zoom in on
Yeah,
the
so I watched
comedic beats you
his
do,
playthrough
because you're funny,
and I thought the
right?
story was
I think that would be
pretty
a good way to do that.
interesting, and then the gameplay itself looked really difficult. Anyway, I wonder
YouTube
if
likes
I
long format
should
videos and regular
try
frequent uploads.
to
That's
put some
one of the struggles
gameplay
content
of
creators
this
struggle
game
with.
on my
Oh yeah,
channel.
they do
I
like
don't
longer
know.
videos,
I'll try
because longer
my
videos
best.
can
There's
hold more
so many
ads.
things that I want to do, that I have to do, so many games that I want to like stream / post on here. Let me know if you guys have been playing Catherine or any other games, or what
I
games
have
are
been
you
playing
looking
Catherine
forward
a little bit,
to?
Sushi, but then I got pulled back into Monster Hunter
Yes.
World.
Okay, so anyway, that's all for today. Goodbye, guys. I mean, goodbye, my little lambs.
Appropriate. I like the end screen here, because you've got links to 2 other. Now, how do you choose which videos to put here? Do you pick those at random, Sushi, or are these like you're letting YouTube choose what's best for the viewer? Because I usually use that space. I'll have one where it's best for the viewer, and then I'll do another one where it's like I manually choose one that I'm pretty sure somebody will relate to. For instance, if I like on that PlayStation Classic video on the Instagram, I think I manually linked to like how to hack the PSP Go, because I was like, yeah, if somebody already likes PlayStation, there's a good chance they might also like the PSP and be interested in that type of content as well. You've got the subscribe link, and then this is just a circle. Was this supposed to be a link to something else, Sushi? Or something you just hadn't done yet? I would be curious. I've learned viewers like long-form videos too, very different from what many others say. The make your videos less than 15 minutes is a huge myth. Make your video as long as it needs to be. Right, yeah, I wouldn't pad a video just to make it long, but I wouldn't buy into like, oh, videos just have to be short for viewer retention. Now, for a lot of the tips videos, like when I did them before I started trying in the live format, I would try to make them very punchy and in that 7 to 8 minute range, just because I know that's a different type of video, right? For that, someone's usually looking for information, and they don't want to slog through like 45 minutes, you know, just to get to it. Even with the live stream, I try to be very conscious of, you know, loading that information up front and try to get it knocked out in the first 5 to 10 minutes. And predictably, like looking at the analytics, I think most viewers who come to the live streams after the fact tend to drop off after that 5 to 7 minute mark, after checking out the content itself. I'm doing good, Mayor. About to kill this for the day though, because I got to get ready for work. But I thought this was kind of a fun way to mix up the morning live stream in terms of just doing like tips content or something like that. But what do you guys think? Do you think we should do this more often on Wednesdays, or are you know, or do you think this was an unmitigated disaster? You're just like shut up and talk about video games or talk about, you know, YouTube engagement or something like that. If Punchy's 7 to 8 minute videos, I must be throwing haymakers. Well, yeah, you normally do like 1 to 2. I really enjoyed this. Right, I'm glad you liked it, Caitlin. I appreciate the feedback. Phoebe says, right, basically don't be afraid if your video is running longer than you want it to be, as long as it has, right, as long as the content value is there. I don't think you should limit yourself and be like, ooh, I would love to talk about these extra 2 points, but then my video is going to be 11 minutes instead of 10. I think you're right. I think it makes sense to make it as long as it needs to be, as long as, you know, you've got the content value to fill that space. T-Bailey says, this was cool. Right on, man. Well, I appreciate you hanging out this morning, for sure, dude. Ken says, yes, I definitely think you should. T-Belly says, I'm still trying to implement your morning streams. What, you mean you're trying to do a morning stream yourself that is in a similar vein, you mean? It was fun. Thanks for checking out the most recent vid, Josh. No, thank you for coming on and hanging out, man. You've been one of the things that helps keep pushing me forward on these morning streams, man. Knowing you're hanging out and that you enjoy the content is just a huge boost for me. I really appreciate it. I guess I feel like this helps make our community more social. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if people like it, I think I'll probably keep doing it on Wednesdays if it's something people appreciate. You know, because it's one of those things, like, I like the idea of doing it. I had people say before, like, you should do channel reviews, but ultimately I was like, you know, I don't know if that makes sense for me to do, because I don't want to, like, and then some people, I don't want them to feel like I'm critiquing their work or telling them they're a bad creator or something in front of a bunch of other people, because that could be really intimidating, right? I've gone to a few channels before where they were doing, like, channel reviews, or they were offering advice, like Nick Nimmin was one more recently, and it can be a little bit intimidating, right? Because at this point, you're not just putting yourself out there in, like, this sort of, you know, abstract way where you're like, yeah, I put a video out there, theoretically millions of people could watch it. Then you're doing it in a very real way, because you can watch people watch your stuff in real time, and that can be, I think, a little bit more intimidating. So that's why I tried to ask people before I showed a video, like, hey, do you want me to show a video? Because some people don't, I don't think. Square One says, I just caught the stream. I bet it was a good one. I'll catch the video when I eat lunch. Right on, man. I appreciate you stopping by, and hopefully it makes your lunch a little more tasty. Paul says, I was worried that my review video was going to be too long, but then I saw a bunch of other people with just as lengthy reviews and realized I have a good length. Yeah, and, you know, again, like Fabian says, I wouldn't sweat it as long as you know the value's there and it makes sense for it to be that long. Now, if you're just like, all right, I gotta pad this video out for the algorithm, so I'm gonna put a bunch of stuff in here that doesn't make sense or just repeat points, I think that would be a bad idea. One of my most popular videos is 2 hours long. Oh, wow, 2 hours. You should check out Fabian's channel. He has many, many incredible videos that are crazy long. 500,000 views, so yes, don't worry about it being long. Right. I mean, if that's not proof positive, I don't know what is. But, alright guys, I have to jump off here because it's time for me to get to work. But thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your morning to hang out. As always, it was fun experimenting with this new format. You know, and I'll be back here tomorrow. And then I think Friday, because I worked so much last week, it looks like I'm getting comp time. So I'm getting, Friday, I will be off work, I think at 11 or noon Eastern. So I'm very much thinking I may just stream Link's Awakening from like noon on, because I hardly ever get the chance to do that, but we'll see. Definitely going to go pick up the Switch Lite on Friday, so that'll be fun to talk about. But yeah, we'll see you in the morning. You know, Jane, Caitlin, T-Belly, Paul, Fabian, Square One, Sushi, anybody else I'm forgetting, Shaboinky Boink, 8-Bit, Vance, all you guys, thank you again for hanging out. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you later. All right, bye.